Hey. We're here. We're live. Episode 44. It's going to be a great episode. Hi, everyone. Thanks for tuning in. Is anyone watching yet? Yes, there is. Yes, there is. I can see. All right, let me do...
the only one who can see that?
Yeah, I won't tell you how many people are watching.
Like, hey, we've got through one entire episode where no one absolutely tuned in.
Oh, God.
People watch it on the pickup. You know what I'm saying?
It's usually between about 70 and 100 watch it live.
Wow.
Oh, really? Is it really?
Yeah.
That's a lot more people than I can.
Than you thought. Are you nervous now?
Yeah. With my mom and 3 of her friends, and that's it.
Yeah. All right, Diane, thanks for coming on.
Hello.
Hi, everyone. Artie, good to see you again. 4th time?
I was trying to remember this morning, and I couldn't remember. Yeah, 5.
Many times. Veteran.
Yeah.
Stalwart, warhorse. As is Tony. Couple of warhorses down below.
Maybe we got Chris X watching, Artie, since we have 2 ex-reptilian employees here.
That's true.
Oh, really?
Maybe we got Chris X.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I almost went with a reptilian choice today.
Really?
Really?
It's like my number 6.
Wow.
Well, maybe we'll have to.
If you're clever like I am, you can sneak 2 in at once.
I'm not clever.
Yeah.
All right, let's do the housekeeping and then let's get going. I don't want to punish people.
I already brushed my teeth.
Me too, actually. Yeah, I don't want to punish anyone to subscribe, but we're at 1,950. Let's get to 2K by Christmas. There you go. What about that?
Reasonable.
That's not too much to ask, right? Right, there we go. All right, let's see if anyone's in the chat. Chat's important. Why? Yeah, there we go. Hey, Vinny Roseboom. Hey, Vinny. How you doing? Hey, Mr. Faster. There you go. Vincent's here. Scoots is here. Mike Woodford's here. All the gang's here. Everyone's here. There you go.
Okay.
Should we get going? We've just got 5 records, as always.
Yes.
Can't wait to see what everyone's picks are. I'm going to have a little drink, brush my teeth, and then we'll...
I forgot to bring a drink.
And then we'll get going. Hey, Gary's here from Ireland. Hi, Gary. All right. Any of you guys going to see Enzyme when they're in the States? Enzyme? Australian band? No?
Love the record, but missed them when they came close. I was working, so couldn't see them. They didn't play Baltimore, but I think they played Philly or DC. Whatever. Unfortunately, I missed it, but yeah.
Right. I mean, everyone said they were an amazing live band. Jim Martin showed their new LP a few episodes back. And Palm. Yeah, I mean, it's like X. It's Yeeps in the band, like X Piss Christ and X Chromosome, all that kind of thing. People like them. But there's another band that are X Chromosome that I like a little bit better, and I just bought their new LP. It's been melting my face off all week. So let's have a little look at what I'm talking about. I'm talking about this record by Geld.
Oh, yeah, Geld.
Oh.
Yeah.
Geld. I think this is their 3rd LP. It's called Currency Castration. They got signed to Relapse Records for this one. And that could be a topic of conversation if we wanted to. Was it a good idea to sign to Relapse? You got Enzyme touring the States. Geld, I don't know. Maybe they'll come to the States too. They got the color cover. Enzyme has the, black and white crusty cover. Big production, great sounding record.
Yeah. Oh, wait, do that again. Show us the back again. See, back, he was yelling right into your microphone there.
Yes, there you go. Have a look. Hey. wearing an Infest t-shirt, which is a little bit misleading. They don't sound anything like Infest, but this is a amazing record. I'm not going to compare them to De Kreutzen. I just did. I shouldn't, but it's like that really off-kilter. There's this phrase people use now called, like, was it forward-thinking hardcore? You know, it's like, you know, it's not DB, it's not thrust.
Artie's offended by that.
You know, a little bit off-kilter, a little bit not jazzy, but, you know, there's a lot going on, a lot of time changes. But this thing, it's fucking amazing. It rips. I don't even remember that.
Never got their due.
De Kreutzen?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never got their credit they deserved.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if this band were influenced by them, but it's almost like a kind of modern take on what they were doing. It's ferocious, absolutely ferocious. And in fact, and it's also a little bit sinister. I was kind of looking over my shoulder a little bit when I was playing it, because it's a little bit, you know, a bit unsettling, but uneasy. It kind of churns, you know, that kind of churning, like psychedelic, like feeling that you get on some records. It's pretty great.
Are there songs on it? Like a lot of what you're describing, you know, like do you leave feeling like you heard a song, or is it more of a vibe?
That is a fucking great question. So I was going to get to that. Yes, there are songs. They're real catchy. You know, it's not like so out there that it's like, you know, yeah, it's catchy. Yeah. It's hooky. There's hooks in here. Good riffs. Yeah,
right.
It's great record. And you know, are they getting overshadowed by Enzyme? I don't really want to compare the two bands. It's kind of not fair, but you know, is signing to Relapse Records for like this kind of a band like a good idea? Is it a good thing? Not sure, but
it's hard to say.
Hard to say, right?
I feel like
you don't know what their choices were.
Exactly, you know, and bands that sign to like Southern Lord and Relapse, you know, they sometimes kind of fade out a little bit after the first record that they put out on the bigger label, you know. So yeah,
I'll say this from a store perspective. I understand like aesthetically and like sound wise, a band may or may not feel like great. You know what I mean? Like Relapse obviously has a style that they can stick to, and Southern Lord has a vibe or whatever. But from my perspective, it's just like if those labels deal direct with stores and their prices are not obscene, which in the case of Relapse and Southern Lord is the case, like I can order direct from both of those places and their prices are fine. I'm just like, I cannot say that about possibly certain labels that are more aesthetically in line with stuff like that. You know what I mean? It's like, I mean, most labels are pretty cool, but like some, it's just like, it doesn't matter. It's like, they'll either just like severely underpress records. They never make it to distribution. They never make it to stores. They don't care. They're just pressed to sell out via mail order. So for me, I mean, I know it's not, you know, it's obviously an aesthetic decision for the bands, but like from a store perspective, I'm just like, hey, if you can keep that stuff reasonable and I can actually order it direct from you, then I consider it a win for the band. It's just going to get out there better. I mean, Southern Lord, I mean, they put out like that Blast reissue, which is kind of like not really in their aesthetic realm. You know what I mean? Right. And honestly, they kind of turned the Blast record artwork into Southern Lord. You know what I'm saying? It's like, that is not an aesthetic. When they did that first one, when they did Blood, they changed, you know, the Blast aesthetic was somewhat shoehorned into a Southern Lord boom aesthetic, which I didn't love. But the Blast record is available and people can hear it everywhere. And I think that's more important, maybe, at least from my store perspective, you know, than anything else.
Yeah, I just thought it was interesting. You know, it's like I guess they gain a whole bunch of new fans, new audience, right? Like Rocking the Sweden when they kind of did that thing on Relapse with Boris.
Oh yeah.
But Boris fans didn't know who the hell like Rocking the Sweden were, and so they have all this like this new like fan base, I guess. But anyway, Geld, great record, just came out on Relapse Records. Check it out. Cool. Unhinged hardcore punk, really good stuff. Really good record. That's my first pick of the day. All right, Diane, what's your first record of the
day? And I have to say I don't have anything that's new.
That's okay.
I don't know if you know. So
it's me either. Reptilian
There you
did also though.
Really?
Yeah.
This is on. So when I first got, so this is the Means. They're from Columbus, Ohio. I love them. And the CD came out in 2002, and it was on Double Plus Good. So I don't know what's the Reptilian connection with that.
Chris put out a Means record. I just don't remember which
Oh,
one.
maybe Community Horse.
Yeah, it was Community.
Yes, that's the one. Yep.
Black and white covered one with a panther. Like
Yeah.
the panther.
I think I might have even still been working there. I mean, that was a while ago. I think it was. I stopped working there in 2005, and I think it was before then. I think that Means record was coming through there when I was still there. So.
Oh yeah, probably. Yeah,
Great.
because this was 2002.
That one.
These guys are great. They're awesome.
I never got to see them live. Are they any good live or?
Oh yeah,
Has
Jason
anybody-
Frederick, the main guy, is fairly unhinged. Like he sounds like he's unbalanced as a person. Really, I mean, I've recorded them. Right, they played live on FMU, and had them on there, and they were great. You know, and then he did Love Story and Blood Red, who are also really great. They're just kind of that, you know. They come across live as more punk. I think they come across on record as more garagey. But there's all types of bells and whistles that just make them semi-experimental. But so this came out in 2022, the reissue of the vinyl, and it's silk screened.
Nice.
Very nice. I wish you could touch it. It's just very nice. Yeah. And it's on the Good Times Rock and Roll. Good Times I can't.
We like good times. We like rock and roll.
Good Times
like
Rock
this.
and Roll Club. See, and they got the Ohio thing there. But, and the album is called Viol. Viol.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's the first time appearance on the show.
Is it?
Yeah.
Here. I like the real show and tell stuff.
Yeah. Let's have a look. Yeah.
Huh.
We got something going on here. I believe that this is the Eagle. The Eagles in red.
That's really cool. That's a good looking record.
Yeah, I was going to say
It is a good looking record.
It is, yeah.
Yeah, and they actually some of their songs actually are not words. Like this one is 3 hearts. You know.
Oh.
Like yeah. So, but they're good. They're wonky and weird and yeah. So.
Nice.
Cool. Good choice.
Kudos to them.
Yeah, I'll have to check that one out. I remember liking the one that Chris put out when it came out. I remember hearing it then.
Yeah, that's their second one. Yeah.
Yeah, but thinking it was really good. I just didn't check out any of the other ones after that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, good one.
Beautiful. All right, Arthur.
Okay. So this is like a short backstory, and then like how I arrived at those things.
Nice. We like the build up. We like the build up.
Yeah. Earlier this week, we were having okay. So the band I'm in, Ready for Death, has a song called "Cannibal Cops," and it's just a fun. You know, it's not a metaphor. So we have been playing live, and here and there, I've been wearing a police officer uniform, but like kind of like a Halford-esque cop uniform.
Whoa.
You know?
Shiny.
I've got the gauntlets, the aviators, and everything, and so it's been fun. We played the show in Milwaukee a couple weeks ago, and it creeped some people out. We were playing with some other bands of our stature, and just like it was not a big show. And so, but I didn't know anyone there. So I was walking through the crowd in this cop uniform to get to the stage. And I think I had to go get ducted. And people were really freaked out, and then we're playing. And then eventually, I made enough jokes that it clicked, and people were like, "Oh, he's not a cop, or this isn't a pro cop band or something." And and then people got excited. And a guy after the show was like, "Yeah, we didn't know what to think because you're wearing that uniform." And this was all very mind blowing to me. So I'm making a flyer for a show we have coming up, and I find this stock photo of these riot police, and I'm putting it together for Ready for Death, and I send it to the guys, and I'm like, hey, what do you think of this flyer? I think it's cool. And get half of the band were like, no, like people are gonna think we're pro cop. And it's just like, I'm thinking of like Conflict or Varukers or like anarcho punk with like, or it's like a black and white photo of a cop and it's intimidating. Exactly, Cop Daddy. That's my style. So, long story short, we go back and forth, and I end up agreeing with him and being like, yeah, I guess it could be perceived that way, and I never thought about it that way, but I'm like, but this is the angle I was coming at it from satire, and he's like, oh, I know. So I started thinking about other bands that have kind of like use that type of imagery, and how when it's been like in the 80s, things were just as awful as they are now from a police brutality perspective, but people weren't necessarily as polarized as they are now politically. So I'm just trying to explore this idea. I'm really fucking high right now too, by the way. I'm sorry.
So you're really going deep.
Yeah, he's going. This is a deep.
Here we go. I'm hanging on.
Where I wound up
as is killing me.
the perfect like Zen point between like satire and like what are they really doing was ex-cops. And I think Tony will be familiar with X because they're Richmond, Virginia. They're GWAR.
GWAR members.
Okay.
I do remember them. I remember that record also from the store from Reptilian back in the day. So
yeah, I think that might have been where I got it. I don't know. But,
you stole it, didn't you?
I did. I stole it, and now it all comes out. So no, but this band is fucking nuts. For they're just like. They're GWAR, but as police, and they play as ex-cops that have been like thrown off the force for all sorts of things, and they've formed their own police force. And there's one guy in a zipper mask, like a gimp mask and a straitjacket, and his name is Officer Zipper Pig, and it's just like great. And then they started doing videos again. I just learned after I pulled this record out and listened to it, I'm like, this is fucking record. It's great. It's like punk, but like more thrashy, not as metal as GWAR, but like a fast thrash punk with a little bit of melody thrown in. And then their album, which only came out on CD, is great too. I feel like these two songs are better than anything on the record, but that record is also really good. It's only on Spotify apparently, or that's where I heard it. So blah 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 blah. What was I saying? Oh, so then I found out they've been making new ex-cops like mini episodes starting in the pandemic, where they're on YouTube, where they're just like doing these little terrible GWAR style skits, and they're just cops like beating people up and tasing them and stuff like that. And then, so I find this, and then I find out they're playing in October with GWAR and Negative Approach, like an hour away from my house. So I'm going to try to go to that.
Nice.
So yeah, so ex-cops, and the 7-inch is called. It's on Man's Ruin. I guess it came out.
Okay.
And it's called "I Beat You Down."
Yeah, that jives. That all like.
Yeah.
And
it's blue. So yeah, that's my show. Wow, I really went on and on for that one.
Nice.
I made you work for it.
Great. Great story. Great build up. 10 out of 10 presentation.
Artie, I almost thought that was going to go towards that band, the 400 Blows. Do you remember that band?
Oh yeah.
The leather gloves, and also I believe Crime, the band style.
There you go.
Yeah.
Crime was
yeah, for sure. So that's
nobody would go to Crime like, are they pro police, or like that thought wouldn't cross their mind. This is like something that happens now, where you've got to make sure everyone knows that you're not on the cop side.
Yeah. Well, there's the of course, like, and I mean, one of my all-time favorite bands, all eras, is White Flag. And I mean, those White Flag records, those early ones, are all like pro-police songs. That was just their winding up. Oh, beautiful. Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. I love them so much. I mean, even I know it's less thought of, but like as they kind of morphed from being a hardcore band with like those kinds of like winding up the crowd, pro God, pro gun, pro cop type songs, they kind of turned into Cheap Trick at some point. They kind of turned into
right.
that cross Cheap Trick kind of like world. And I like all eras, but another band that for sure tried to do that. And I mean, I think because they were doing it in as early as like 82 or something, or 83 or something, I think that like they kind of, I think people just knew that it was like a joke, but I don't know.
Right.
Nice.
I mean, you never know.
That's another debut on the show. There you go.
Yeah, I easily could have pulled some White Flag records. But I love him so much, but didn't get a chance. But my first one is actually, this had been on my want list for like 6 or 7 years. It was just weird that I never saw a copy anywhere. And I mentioned to my wife that I wanted a copy 6 years ago, and she, just because she's awesome, she remembered and just like kept hanging in there, and eventually a couple of weeks ago got me a copy. This copy does not have a cover. It's just like, I guess it's a really tough record, to come on. And I've never seen one for sale with a cover, and I guess she hadn't either. But this band is called The Men, and the A-side song is S&M Bar. And so the label looks like this. Electric Eye, but yeah, I don't have a cover. So honestly, I don't even care, because it was just so sweet that she got it for me and was able to find any copy. I don't even care if I have a cover, but I guess if somebody has a cover that they want to sell me, that's fine. But
let us know in the comments.
It's totally acceptable. This is like perfect just as it is, because it was sweet that she got it for me. And I've been playing the song on like YouTube, like just over. I think it might have been comped on one of the Killed by Death comps, but it's just it's like very it's just like super spastic punk with like crazy keyboard parts. It kind of sounds like the Deadbeats' Kill the Hippies, which is another ultimate favorite of mine, and I think they're from New Orleans, but I'm not positive. But yeah, it's that style, like basically like Bags and Eyes and
nice,
Deadbeats kind of style punk with keyboards, and it's just like ridiculous sounding. I mean, it's like the S&M Bar song is like definitely like 20 times in a row player. It hasn't left anywhere near the turntable since she got me a copy. So it's just a really fun song. It's ridiculous. Like, maybe the Spits probably owned this record and thought about it heavily when they were making their early records or something like that, So my guess anyway. But yeah, so
let's think about anything heavily.
So yeah, early spastic punk with like ridiculous keyboard parts.
Beautiful.
That's super
awesome.
Ah, yeah. There, Mike says they're from New Orleans.
One for sure. Okay, yeah.
And they're actually called
Men in Black. Yeah.
Men in Black.
Yeah.
Ah, there you go.
It says it on the cardboard here. I just read it wrong.
Nice. All right. Beautiful. I don't know if anybody watched episode 40. So on episode 40, I was like literally like foaming at the mouth about this record. So this is the record I was talking about on that show. It's the Beast Milk album.
Yeah.
Beast Milk, Finnish band, Climax. For me, it's like one of the best records of the past like 10 years. But I'm not going to talk about this one. But like when I was talking about it, Ville, he's from Finland, and he was like, because what happened was like this band, like they just made one album, and then they mysteriously like changed their name to like Grave Pleasures. They changed members, and I'd kind of like checked out and a few like Grave Pleasures songs, and they weren't as good as like this kind of same style. I call it like stadium death rock, It's like big sounding, anthemic like death rock or goth. But anyway, they changed their name to Grave Pleasures, and Ville was like, "Yeah, man, you got to check out like the new like Grave Pleasures record, because it's like actually really, really, really good." So that's what I did. So I went and bought the new Grave Pleasures LP. It's called the Plagueboys. It's on Century Media. Talking of Relapse, Jesus. Century Media. It's not Relapse.
Not very reasonably priced, and you also cannot deal direct with them. So
yeah. I've heard all sorts of stories about Century Media.
Even in the States, you're looking at like $30 single LPs, if not more. Yeah.
But this is in the same vein as the Beast Milk record. It's like death rock, spooky punk, horror punk, post-punk, gothic, but kind of like upbeat with like huge hooks, huge choruses, like we sound like kind of pop like sensibilities. So good. This is definitely like the best record that Grave Pleasures have done. This is their third record. It's beautiful record, great looking record. Maybe, I don't know, is it?
Tree. Is that a tree? No, that's people.
It's tree. It's some kids with their face painted and yellow hair.
Like a cat litter scoop.
Yes. Any of you guys any of you guys when you're watching heard this one?
That one's come through the store, but I didn't put it on.
Honestly,
and I didn't check it out.
Was that from the teens?
It's 10 years old. It's 2013. Yeah, 2013.
Yeah, I remember I was overseas and a lot of people were freaking out about it. I remember checking it out. I remember not liking it.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people don't like it. It's weird. It's very Kurt Ballou produced it. It's he did a good job actually, but yeah. So if you don't like Beast Milk, you ain't gonna like Grave Pleasures. But if you like Beast Milk, you're probably gonna like Grave Pleasures. Yeah. Okay. I'm glad I didn't. I was going to show this one last week, and I'm glad I didn't because I was going to be a bit negative about it last week. It's a bit of a grower, So I spent another week with it. Yeah. It's new. Just came out.
I haven't played that Beast Milk album in a while. I've heard it streaming, but
yeah, I felt when I was talking, I was like, "Am I the only person that's so enthusiastic about this record?"
Well, when you posted about it this week, I thought I've got to go revisit that because I remember not hating it, but I for some reason never went back.
The singer has that kind of Danzig meets Roy Orbison meets whoever, the kind of very theatrical baritone vocals. Yeah.
I'm willing to give it a shot. If next time it comes through the shop, I'll throw it on for sure.
Give it a shot. Grave Pleasures, Plagueboys, Century Media. Wow. Century Media. All right.
So the next record. Well, I want to point something out. Totally unplanned. I picked out my 5, and they're all the same.
Wow.
So this one has a snake and an eagle on it. I got this backwards. Everything. Snake and eagle.
Yep.
And my next record. Snake and eagle.
Yeah.
This is Sanhedrin.
Wow.
They're a 3-piece. This is metal. This is their second album called Poisoner. And they recently got signed. Not recently. They have a third album out. I forget what it's called. I think it's called Lighten Up. And they're
hey, Mike.
And they thank Mike DiLorenzo on this record.
Did
and
they
just thank yous, and they actually thanked me as well. I had no idea.
There you go.
This is their second record. And they're a 3-piece. Erica Stoltz is the vocalist, and she is, I'm going to say it, the female Dio. She has got a set of strong pipes. Really, really strong.
Wow.
She's just freaking killer. And she plays bass pickless, and they freaking are amazing. And it's pretty traditional metal.
Nice.
Semi power metal, but it's not it doesn't sound like any particular band, but it just easily slides into the genre. So last year they got signed to Metal Blade.
All right.
I think they have their little
Sanhedrin.
Yes.
The Poisoner.
Yeah, and Jeremy was in Black Anvil. That's the guitar player over. Oh, I'm holding the other side. I can't do the backwards stuff. Just look at the damn thing.
Very Celtic layout with 3 photos.
Yeah. So this is on Cruz del Sur.
Oh, Diane, that's funny. Cause when you were talking about that band, I was going to say, has anyone heard that band Tower from New York?
Oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're on that label too, and they have an amazing woman on vocals too, who's an amazing singer. Yeah.
She's not as good as Erica.
True.
And
Wow,
Erica
you're saying
was in
twice.
Lost. She was in Lost Goat and Dirty Excuse, and she's done some guest vocals for like Hammers of Misfortune, and she like I've played them on FMU. I mean, you know, over my career, I had Lost Goat on many years ago. And I've had people who are not into heavy music, but just ask me who the singer is.
Okay.
Like, who is that woman? Like she is just like boom, you know.
Wow.
But yeah. So
Reminds me of there's that band from Seattle, Solicitor.
I don't know them.
That's a great band. I've got the CD of that album. I haven't got the vinyl yet.
This is a vinyl only show. Sorry.
No, that's good. We don't want CDs.
Those are my wildlife picks for the day. Snakes and eagles.
Nice. It's on Metal Blade, so it should be easy to get to.
Well, this one is not. This is their second album.
Okay.
The third one is called Lights On, and that's on Metal Blade.
But that's on Cruz de la Sur, right? Sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yeah. And this came out. This is from 2019. And it's called The Poisoner. Their first one was called Funeral for the World, and that was also on Cruz del Sur. Nice. And now they're on Metal Blade, which I guess that makes them happy. And they do really well in Europe. Like they do great in like on the metal fests. Like that's kind of like the traditional metal, like, you know, world there. They're really freaking great.
Yeah, we Europeans love the traditional.
Yes. Yeah. Total, you know, battle jacket.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, they're great. Kick ass.
Yeah, that sounds great. I'm going to check that one out. Scooter's going to check it out too. We're all going to check it out. There you
go. Yeah, for sure.
Talking of battle jackets, I'm going to wear mine tomorrow. I'm going to a gig tomorrow, probably. Osaka True Thrash Fest is back.
Wow. That's delightful.
Should be all right.
What kind of fest?
Osaka True Thrash Festival.
Oh, True Thrash.
Yeah, and I guess the main band is like Holy Terror, but they're called Mind Wars now.
Oh yeah, that was their album title.
Yeah, they should be good, right?
Who's still in that band?
I don't know, like how many original members.
I saw Holy Terror with DRI in 1988 at a club called Network in Baltimore. No, when that first Holy Terror record or whatever record came out.
Probably better than Mind Wars are going to be tomorrow.
I kind of don't remember. I don't remember how Holy Terror was at the time. Yeah, I don't remember. DRI made a big impact on me at that time frame, so I might have not been remembering or paying as much attention to the other bands that played that show.
Yeah, I just saw DRI in August. I went to Rebellion in Blackpool in the UK.
Did you really? How was it?
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gone 2 years in a row, and it's so massive, and there's a lot of bands that are that are older that don't always have original members, but it's a freaking hoot. It's awesome.
It looks like a hoot, and when I imagine myself being there, it's like, God, like how many days would I survive? You know, like all that beer drinking.
Oh, that's up to you. You know,
well,
I'm more about like getting to stages and figuring out and going, all right, today I'm seeing 16 and a half bands. Like,
right. Do you have like an Excel spreadsheet with this band?
I do.
Beautiful.
I set alarms on my phone. I don't fuck around. Like, that's the thing.
Beautiful.
So yeah.
Wow. All right. Another first time on the show. Great pick. Artie, what's your...
yeah. I don't know. I basically brought every record I've been listening to, and I'm just going to kind of go with the flow.
We're going to have to stop you then. We're going to have to actually cut you off.
Yeah, feel free. My wife would appreciate that. Maul. Yeah. So, no story really, but I did see these guys recently, so I bought this from them at the show. It was a very, very low attended show here in Chicago, but they were supposed to be playing with Closet Witch, who I really wanted to see, and they apparently cancel shows a lot due to some health problems or whatever. So Maul headlined, and I didn't know what to expect. I had sort of seen their logo around, but they were just like old school death metal played by really weird millennials. And you know, I think that has to play a part in it because the music sounds like just like Autopsy or you know, like just like old gross, really like underproduced death metal from like, you know, that era.
Nice.
They're from this band's from Fargo, North Dakota.
Wow.
Which, yeah, that doesn't mean anything to you, Mike, but that's like
I've seen Fargo, the TV show.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I'm still holding it up. I'm like really messed up right now. So, and it's on like pink. This is actually the third pressing. I guess it came out in about 2020, and this is like they've been selling through it. It's on Redefining Darkness, which brings a lot of good stuff. And they were just really weird. They played this like raw, churning death metal. You know, the kind of the really guttural mixed in with the bar, like you know. So and just like really, really, really like ominous sounding and threatening and primitive. And the guys all look like they just look like guys who, you know, they weren't in the best of shape. They probably made a lot of bad choices. They look like they, you know, they were barking in between songs. So
barking.
Song would end.
Barking.
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 Like and they'd be like. And
barking like Maul dog even.
Yeah, like poodles.
Yeah. There were 20 people there, and we were all looking at each other like, "What the fuck is this going? What's going on?" And then they would just launch into the next song, and they, you know, but they're young. Their merch table was like, we've got Maul hot sauce, we've got Maul booty shorts, we've got Maul like koozies. They had. It wasn't just like when you used to have a record and a shirt and throw it up. These are kids who are like growing up in a merchandising age, and they're just like, what can we brand? What can we brand? And I was really enjoying it. I was as fucked up then as I am now, but I was mesmerized by their performance. They looked insane. They sounded insane, and they just, it was like just a record I could put on in between like Autopsy and fucking Obituary and just like grind out to it. It's got that, you know, and it's weird and pink and purple. Everything, their whole aesthetic is really weird. All it was like pink and purple and green, and you know, which is, I don't know, everything about it was weird and really compelling. So I think this band could wind up on Relapse or Century Media or whatever, you know, and end up, you know, kind of going the Frozen Soul route, being on the level.
Right.
So that's my, and that's the only record I have that came out within the last like. That came out recently. All my other
Artie, did you mention what label that's on? I didn't.
Oh, Redefining Darkness.
Oh, sorry, you did. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I can't remember any of the other, but I know I've been following that label, so I know I own multiple things that are on that label. I can't remember which ones though.
Just a little bit related, I see that Tomb Mold are releasing then.
Yeah.
I'm super excited about that because I love that band.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, they got new ones coming very soon.
Yeah, I keep checking the internet to see if it's up for sale yet over here, up for pre-order. Can't wait for that.
Cool.
All right, Tony.
Also love those Two Mold records. They're so good.
I mean, not to go off on Two Mold, but they're so catchy.
Yeah.
The Two Mold records, you know. Yeah.
It's definitely a line to walk there between just going full, you know.
Right.
Blood Incantation, so great also. So.
Yeah.
Since everybody's getting these positive notes from the people following along, like, I have to check that out, and that's great. I definitely...
I didn't get any of those.
Well, this one isn't going to get any either. I definitely pulled the most from the pile of records that I was listening to. I noticed that the most annoying and just ridiculous record, and maybe my entire collection, was in there. And I was like, oh, I'm going to break this out and put it on and see if it's just as like just hellaciously annoying and like nonsensical as I remember it being. And it was, if not more so. And I was thinking about like a lot of times when I listen to punk or metal or hardcore, I like it to be more straightforward. I don't like a lot of like improvisation or like, you know, weird things. I'm just like, give me the Ramones and Napalm Death or, you know, whatever. It can be different styles of punk or hardcore, but I prefer it to be more straightforward in whatever style it is, you know, with little exception, you know. But I love, like, say, Drunks with Guns. That's just something also that was like a reptilian thing where like I started working there and Chris was just listening to Drunks with Guns, and it just like, you know, my young straight edge brain was just like, what am I fucking hearing? I mean, like, this band is so insane and dumb and like punishingly annoying. I love it, but this record makes Drunks with Guns look like Bad Religion, so it's it's complete idiocy, and it is Happy Flowers.
The Happy Flowers.
Oh, I love them.
I love this record. I'll admit, you know, when I first bought it, however many years ago, the artwork immediately, you know, drew me in. I was just like, I don't know what's going on here, but I'm just gonna buy the record for the $5 that it is or whatever. And then, yeah, when you put it on, and it's basically just like two deranged maniacs. Just, I mean, I don't even know that I would consider it. I'm improvisation. I'm glad someone. I don't know that improvisation is even what I would. I mean, it really seems like people that absolutely cannot play a single instrument were just handed instruments to just bang on to like possibly make noise. As somebody that cannot play an instrument at all, you know what I mean? If you were to hand me a drum set and a guitar and just said bang on this, oh, love it, Artie. Oh, that's wonderful. Yeah, I have the other one. I have the other ones over there too, but this happened to be the one that was in the thing. So yeah, it really feels like, I mean, it's again not even improvisation, just pure, just like talentless smashing of instruments with you know, the singer obviously pretending to be a child, screaming about cartoons and their toys and the scrapes and bruises that they've incurred through being a kid. I mean, it is
described, and now it sounds even stupider.
Punishingly painful to listen to. I mean, it is a room clearer to end all room clears. I mean, yeah, you know, I mean, any of these. Mom, I gave the cat some acid. I saw my picture on a milk carton. My frisbee went under a lawnmower. You know, oh yeah, I'm the stupid one, which is great. And I remember when I got this, the lyric sheet. I should break it out real fast. One side, you get, I'm go out if you can. Please come back in 5 minutes. This is great. And the other side, ways to disturb your parents. And I'm not going to read them all, but when your mom tries to wake you up, just lie there without breathing. I don't know. Stick a little balloon full of fake blood up your butt. Then call your mom in the room and tell her you feel sick and ask her to take your temperature with the rectal thermometer. Anyway, tell your parents that you have a friend tied up in the woods, and if you don't get your way, he dies horribly. Anyway, I have to say that the lyrics, of which there really aren't any, just the screaming of children, are really no more sensical than these things printed on the back of here. And right, yes, it is Vince. Yeah, who always good to see Vince here. He literally lives almost. I could throw a baseball and hit Vince's house. So one day I'm gonna have to have him over here, or we're gonna have to do it. It'll be like me and Vince together in one cube, and he'll either be at my house or I'll be at his. We'll have to do that. But the guys from this band were in the Landlords, the early Virginia hardcore band, and I think Landlords split off into several bands, one of which just happened to be Happy Flowers. So, and I think there's a bizarre connection with Yola Tango as well. I don't think the members played in Yola Tango, but I think that there is a connection. Like I think Happy Flowers did reunion shows and they played them with Yola Tango. So I don't know why that is. It was just a thing that happened. But and
it sounds unbearable for everyone.
Yeah. So every once in a while, I just feel the need for like literally the most ridiculous, annoying, hilarious, drugged out music. And a lot of, if it's not Trunks with Guns, it's going to be Happy Flowers. So yeah, Happy Flowers. I'm glad, Artie, that you had it. And I'm glad there was a better response to people following along.
Yeah. So everyone was like, yeah.
I'm glad to see that people had copies of it. But yeah, if you want people to leave a party, a room, anything, man, it doesn't take even, I mean, you could put that record on for 10 seconds and people are just running through the door at any moment. You really have to have the wherewithal to sit through it. But I did, and here it is. So
that's great.
Nice.
I mean, why were they a 2-album band?
Oh no,
like,
they're not, Artie. They're not. There's so many singles. I have like 5 singles over there. There's like 4 LPs. There's the one that you picked up. There's this one. There's another one called Oof, and then there's another one called My Skin Is Over My Body or something like that. And all of them, it's not like they fucking self-released these. They're on Homestead.
They're on Homestead, yeah, right.
At the time had put out like Dinosaur Jr. and yeah, exactly. Oh, they and okay, so Yola Tango were on Homestead as well, so there is a connection there. But yeah, they were on Homestead, and Homestead heard that first record and said, not only are we going to put out these men screaming like children, banging on their instruments with no idea how to play them, but we're going to put out like 3 other full lengths and like fucking 5 singles, which I just respect. I mean, I absolutely respect.
Yeah.
That's what happened, and yeah,
commitment.
It was some kind of investment. Like, so anyway, I do love them. I mean, I talk shit, but like what makes them terrible is also what makes them great. It's like it's all the same thing. So yeah.
Wow.
Beautiful.
Yay.
Yay.
Yeah, that's very poetic.
I don't think my next choice is going to be anywhere near as well received as that.
Anywhere in the world where the Happy Flowers are well received whatsoever. So.
All right, I got like a fucking bargain bin thing that I picked up the other day. I love this record. They're from New York, but kind of sounds like it could have come out in England in like 1976. I love the look of this record too. You know, this record.
Yeah. Vanity, right?
Vanity.
I can't see it, but yeah, Vanity.
Vanity. New York band?
I don't know them.
Yeah?
I'm not familiar.
Actually, I was talking to Mike DeLorenzo like last week about this record. Yeah, it's like super like spindly, like raw, like it kind of sounds like it could have been on like Raw Records, like back in like 76, 77, and it's like kind of glammy. Sounds a bit like The Only Ones as well. It's like The Only Ones mixed with like Raw Records, like punk. Super catchy.
How old is this record?
It came out in 2016.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's on Katorga Works, who put out a ton of good stuff like Warthog and the Warrior Kids and Crown Court. And it's Katorga Works, right? And I don't know anything about this band. I guess there's people from the Rival Mob in this band.
Yeah.
Oh.
And JJ Dot. You saw them?
I saw them at, I want to say, Damage City Fest. I believe they played at Damage City one year. And I remember liking, that's the second LP?
Yes. I've been told that the first one is like more oi.
It
and
is.
then they kind of switched direction a little bit for this one.
Yes. And I remember being like, so I really liked the first record. And then when this record came out, I liked it a little less. And then they played at, Battle Ruins. They played at Damage City. And I was like, okay, well, let's give it a shot, even though I didn't like the second record quite as much as the first. And I want to say, I mean, my brain is telling me that he came out and there was some tambourine action happening that I wasn't feeling right off the bat, like some heavy, just like, you know, glammy rock and roll.
Artie's face was amazing when you said tambourine.
You're not feeling the tambourine. I was not feeling the tambourine. I remember being like, right off the bat, the tambourine was happening, and I was just like,
it's glammy. It's definitely, but it's weird. It's like glammy, but it's like mixed with like raw records, like really like thinly produced punk, and there's acoustic songs on it as well, like 2 acoustic songs. It's like all over the place. Yeah. It really kind of sounds like it kind of came out in England like before punk. It's one of those weird records, like they don't really know where they're going, but it's punky, it's glammy, it's a bit psychedelic. I don't know. I kind of enjoy it.
They were okay live. Tambourine aside.
Don't be shy. It's the name of the album.
Tambourine aside, it was fine. Yeah.
Is it female vocals or is it a female vocalist?
No. She's the guitarist or bass player, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the singer kind of reminds me a little bit of the singer of The Only Ones. He's got that kind of like higher register voice.
And he sounds like he's falling asleep.
Like, they're in front of the what's a soccer tavern like? And it's like, it looks like it's in Chinatown somewhere.
Well, there's your answer right there. It's in Chinatown. So it's just 2 completely unrelated words put on a sign.
Right. Oh, it does say watch the soccer games. Euro 2016. There you go. I know. It's it's not classic, but I had a good time with it.
I liked it. I would have liked it more. I think I just expected maybe the first record sound a little bit more, and was just a little taken aback when the second record.
Yeah, people have said you should have started with the first record and then like kind of
that actually might have, your like of that record might have eased by just coming in on that record and not having the
exactly. I had no I had like no expectations about this record whatsoever.
Yeah. I told somebody once the other day, I was like, the first Black Flag record I ever heard was Wasted Again, the compilation, where it's just like all the different singers and all the different eras. It's like Nervous Breakdown, but then drinking and driving. And because I was a kid when I got that cassette, I was just like, oh, this is just what they sound like. It just sounds like all of this. Like I didn't live through it in real time going, oh, this is getting like less like I like, or it's like changing sounds. I just got like a collection cassette and was just like, they just sound like this. Sometimes it sounds like Drinking and Driving. Sometimes it sounds like Nervous Breakdown. Sometimes it sounds like this thing in the middle or an instrumental. And so it was easier to come at it because I was just like, oh, it just already sounds like all these different things to me. And but yeah, so it might have been easier that you jumped on that second record. You might appreciate that more than having come from the first one and then seen them kind of slightly change.
The lead off track is fucking amazing. You'll never matter much to them. It's fucking killer track.
I don't own it, but there's a copy at the store, so I'm gonna throw it on in your honor tomorrow.
Thank you.
I'm gonna give it a second spin.
Give it a second chance. Yeah.
Tomorrow, yeah, for sure.
There you go. They have a third LP too, and it's on Beach Impediment.
Really? Why did I not?
Yeah.
I wonder if I ever checked that out.
Which is a great label, right? I mean, Beach Impediment is pretty like very, very consistent label.
Mark is great, and another person that you can just keeps prices low. You can order direct from him. So close to my.
There you go. All right, Vanity. Don't be shy.
Oh,
I hope it's me.
All right, Diane. What's your third pick?
Oh, let's see. Okay. So this is sort of half man, half beast. We got this guy on the cover here.
Love that artwork.
Wow.
Well, so this is Baxaxaxa, and they're German, and it's spelled Baxaxaxa.
Of course, that's how I would spell it.
Of course it is. And all of their records look similar. They're black and white or white on black. But this guy does things like on one of them, he's like sitting down, and one he's like leaning towards the side. So this is sort of the main dude here. This sort of, I guess it's the great man in the abyss or whatever. But anyway, so it's sort of traditional black metal, and it's doomy, and it's more doomy than blast beaty, which is why I like it. And I'm going to see them tomorrow.
Wow, where are you going to see them?
At TVI in Queens. So, like, I have to plan my whole damn day around going to that venue, but I like them enough. This
Queens sucks.
Yeah. I mean, but they started in the 90s. They didn't put out anything for like a decade, and they have a newer record. I only have it on a download, so this is the only vinyl that I have from them, and it's called Catacomb Cult.
Oh.
Who put it out?
It is on. Is it the Sinister Flame? Oh my God, that flame may be sinister. I think so.
I like the sound of all of this.
Let's see. Oh, well, so we have a nice gloomy hallway here. It's really not catching the light very well, but gloomy hallway with crypts and, all the usual things like the moon sucking the life out of the sun.
I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
Did you, are those photos of them like hanging from nooses or something? Is that what I saw briefly?
No, these are just like band photos that you just.
Oh, they're just like they're leaning over.
Like, oh yeah, here we are. Okay, so I'm not sure. I'm not sure if they're going to really go well. And their names are Condemptor, Cryptic Tormentor, Traumatic, and Sulfur E-Ray. So.
Great. We have a Sulfur E-Ray in our second grade. He's a real dick. Doesn't call me.
But yeah, so I guess it's the Sinister Flame is the name of the label. It's funny, I didn't even really think about that. But it's kind of shitty sounding, but it's shitty sounding in that good old school way. It's it's got that sort of Hellhammer vibe to it, really.
Nice.
Like just old, what the fuck, like that kind of thing, So I'm excited to see them. I don't know if they're going to really be doing like the whole like satanic thing. I know they do wear corpse paint, but I don't know if they, bring along roadkill like Watain does or, any of that stuff. So I'm expecting, I don't know what I'm expecting actually. So, and I don't know the other bands that are on the bill, and they're not headlining, which is a good thing just because it takes me 2 hours to get to this place, So, but that's Baxaxaxa, and that's Catacomb Cult from them. That came out in 2021.
Nice. I like that you said it was doomy and like Hellhammerish, because I don't really like the blast beat stuff.
Yeah, it's not super blasty. A couple songs have some blast, but it's not that like tick, 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 tick. That's like a, fucking millennial metronome. Like, it's
that's beautiful. I'm going to use that. Sorry. That's a great way of
it has more like old school vibes. It's got kind of like a classic black metal feel to it,
Nice.
And there's a lot of atmosphere. There's a lot of like in the background, which is what I really loved about old black metal. And I know that, rhythms and stuff have shifted and black metal's changed so much since like Venom to now, and it really doesn't sound the same. But there was, like all of those sort of frightening records had a lot of atmosphere, a lot of just like wind and that kind of thing. And that's what really makes you scared, So
I agree.
So we'll see. I'll let you know how the show is, But yeah.
Cool.
Are they US band?
No, they're from Germany.
German.
Germany. You said that? Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Coming all the way to play Ridgewood, Queens.
Yes, I know. Oh no.
Finally, we've made it to New York. Oh shit! It's on. Well.
All right.
Oh, was it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
Your turn. Cheers. Cheers.
You're right. Hanging in there.
Artie, you're getting redder.
He is. It always happens. You wait till the fourth round, the fifth round.
That'll happen.
Fell off his chair once, if I remember right.
Did I see that? I think I.
I'm just keeping Artie. I'm keeping all the classic '90s into early 2000s stories like this.
Yeah.
The desire to say things is strong. But,
after the show.
Yeah, none of it is. None of it's.
I threw out a bunch of photographs recently. I'll tell you. I'll just leave it at that. Some Halloween photographs. So yeah, we played. Ready for Death played in last year. We played in Nashville, and we played with this band. Dallas is from Nashville. Our guitarist. We played with his friend's band Hans Condor. The record's called Sweat, Piss, Jizz, and Blood. So, 4 main food groups. This was one of the fucking most nuts live bands I've seen in a small venue, like as far as in terms of a punk show, like not in terms of a grandiose performance, but I've rarely seen energy on this level of these guys. It was like the Candy Snatchers at their peak, like that kind of like there's like a Zeke energy, like a Dwarves, all kind of rolled into one. So it's that style, which might sound like, okay, there's like 100 bands like that on Gearhead or whatever. But this band, I don't know, they were just like, they played to like a crowd of like 30 people. This is their first record. The bass player was the singer of Dallas's other band, Ash Chapel, from the 90s.
Oh, right. Okay.
He was the singer, and on this record, he plays bass and sings, and then he died. He ran into a lot of just drug issues, and Dallas was like really devastated by it. So this was like a close friend of his, but the band kept going. The record they have out now, this one's great, and I'll explain what I like about this record in a second. But the new record is or the most recent one, I think it's 2021. It's still available on their Bandcamp, and it's like fucking, like, they have songs like they cover Motorhead by Motorhead. They have songs called You Suck at Your Job, and just like, it's just like that kind of like early 2000s just garage meets like thrash energy, and I really like it. But this record, as soon as I saw them, I was like, I have to get their records, but they don't often pop up on Discogs, and then this one started popping up, and I didn't even know the new record was out, so that I just ordered. But this came up, and I had to get it. It was like pretty cheap, and it's a silkscreen cover. I guess they only made 100 of them. The fuck was I gonna say? I'm so fucked up right now. It basically got like a Rolling Stones, like they were kind of like feeling out, the sort of vibe that they were doing, and so it's got like a Rolling Stones / like Candy Snatchers energy. The later stuff is mostly just like power, speed, whatever, like Dwarves type stuff. But this song, Time, Rhyme, or Reason, could have been a New Bomb Turk song. It's like that kind of like super catchy, just really like earnest, and just like sung like super, just sung from the heart. The whole record, I don't know, I've been blasting this record at least once a day for the last week and a half since I got it. So it's just something really, really catchy about it. It's got that kind of like wow, I can't talk anymore, man. I don't know if I'm just.
I'm excited for pick 5 to see what's going to happen by that.
It's tough. I went into this already half in the bag, and now I'm trying to find my way out of the bag. So it's Hans Condor. That's the record.
Beautiful.
And I think it was self-released, so yeah.
Bravo.
Nice.
Well done, Artie.
Yeah, actually, I almost chose as one of my records Action-Packed Suicide Bag, so it could have been that bag. But so I was telling everybody here before we got on that I left my power cord at the store, and my computer it was like draining its power pretty ridiculously fast. But I unplugged the external camera, so that's why it's fuzzier on my screen here. And it seems like it's chilling out a little bit, but I don't have a lot of power left. So if at some point I just disappear, I will just rejoin on my telephone, I guess, or at least I'll make the effort to rejoin on my telephone. So okay,
all right.
My next pick is what's that?
This is a good setup. This should be good.
Yeah. My next bloop, it's gone. The Baltimore band and Baltimore. I mean, I guess a lot of times when you hear people talking about old punk and hardcore, people in Philly and stuff will be like, Philly was just overlooked because DC and New York or like whatever. And whenever I hear them say that, I'm just like, no, Baltimore was overlooked. I'm like, Philly had many bands, McRad, Dead Milkmen, whatever, that put out records and got national acclaim. Baltimore in that same time period, I mean, I would hesitate to say like next to zero, if not almost zero. There's lots of great Baltimore bands from then, but like most of them did not release records. They put out tapes or, just fell apart before anything happened. And anyway, one of the ones that did do a release, even though it was poorly distributed and never collected anywhere, is Law and Order. Anything Critics' Choice, which is just awesome snapshot of like, Baltimore hardcore, from 1981. I would say that it sits somewhere in between. It's not quite as ramshackle as the Teen Idol single, and it's definitely not as tight as Minor Threat, but like it sits in between those two things. You know what I mean? It definitely has like tons of like slightly ramshackle, youthful exuberance. I mean, it's just great. It's just like awesome 12-song record. It's perfect. It's like not too tight. It's not too sloppy. It's like awesome. And yeah, I think the story goes that maybe it was supposed to actually be released on Discord, but that just never occurred. Yeah, and the people in this band, they later went on to do, I pulled them out, this band called the Bullocks that have 2 singles, All Rock Stars Should Be Drafted, and Mediterranean is the other one. And I realized that I'm having trouble doing this. I don't know why. I changed the camera and now
it's fine. We can see it.
Nothing works or whatever. So here's the other 2. And then after that, they did a band called Braver Noise that was like basically like college rock. So they, which is fine. I guess it's kind of like REM-y or something. But yeah, the Law and Order single specifically completely rips. It's a real shame. And I think there are unreleased songs that were maybe done as a CDR or something. But it's weird to me that no one has just reached out and tried to do an LP or even a 7-inch reissue of this stuff. Yes, that was just exactly what I was saying. So yes, there are unreleased tracks and these tracks on a CDR that, maybe these guys ran a label called Fetal Records, and I can't remember which member ran the label, but it's that person, I think, is the person that did the CDR. But at the same time, I just don't, it's one thing to be like, hey, you can do a CDR, but like actually having a label reach out and do an LP collection with like photos and stuff like Radio Raheem does with like some of these things. It's just never happened, and it's just bizarre to me that it's never happened because the songs are awesome. They like totally are up against any, other stuff that was happening. It's just that it just did not get out there. It just didn't get the distribution or whatever, and neither did the Bullocks, really, unfortunately. So, but yeah, it's a killer single, and should have been more well known. So maybe this, I think I chose it. So like, if somebody out there wants to reach out to this band, somebody should reissue this or collect it because it's great. So, all right.
Well, it did get distributed. I got it in New York.
I got a copy in New York. Okay, well that's good.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that it got out somewhere. I just feel like, you don't hear people talking about them too much,
Right.
That's all. Just that, like, in the same breath as like other awesome hardcore singles from 1981, I just rarely hear anybody mention them. And it's just a crying shame, I feel like.
Don't cry.
I'm going to cry. Cry for Baltimore.
All right. Okay, I'm going in with my next one. Here we go. I've been listening to this like every morning on the train to work, on the train home, and I found a vinyl copy like just last night. So I've actually only played the record once. I love this record. Vinny from the band is watching. I know he's watching. I'm going to throw some musical genres at you and see like if you like recoil in horror or not. It's like post-hardcore, math rock, screamo, prog rock.
You had me till that one.
See? No. There you go. I mean, honestly, apart from the prog rock, I'm not interested in kind of any of those genres too. But this record, I kind of want everyone to just like put all those like preconceptions to one side and like give this record a chance. This band is kind of pretty well known, but they like took 17 years to put out like their second record, and it just came out last year on Dog Nights Productions from the UK, who put out some good stuff actually. This is great. I love this record so much. I have at least one person in the comments who likes it as much as I do. Talking about gospel.
Oh,
okay.
There we go. He knew it. He guessed it. Right.
I know this band. I'm ready for this.
Gospel. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Mike says it's his favorite record of 2022. I mean, I've not heard anything that sounds like anything like this. It's kind of got Deep Purple and like Emerson, Lake and Palmer like style keyboards, but it's got like heavy riffs. The drumming is absolutely insane. I mean, Vinny is like, it's unbelievable. It's like a kind of Bill Bruford, like fucking level of like technicality, but it's really listenable. Like it flows really well. There are songs, Artie, it's like it's not just a chaotic, because some of that like math rock and like post-hardcore is just like it's like a mess. This is not. This like flows really well. It's catchy. It's got riffs. The drumming is like really melodic, even though it's like really technically proficient. Ties it all together. The singer sounds like a drunk preacher man, like a bluesy preacher man. It's like, it's amazing. It's like, I love the artwork. I got the beer-colored vinyl. The record is called The Loser. And the band is Gospel. I guess they're from Long Island. Vinny is the drummer. I don't know. I love it. I mean, for someone that doesn't like, post-hardcore or math rock or like, blew me away. It's absolutely incredible. Absolutely incredible. I'd urge anybody who is thinking, bleh, I would urge them just to give it a listen. It's on YouTube. It's on Bandcamp. You might be surprised.
It's my problem with this record is that people whose taste I respect, you, Mike, all love my friend Brian. They love this record. All the words you use to describe it sound like cancer to me. Avoid. They're all red flags. Like,
But that's why that was my build up to it. I was like, okay, I'm going to throw these like things at everyone, and they're going to be.
Yeah. But then even in your description of it as you went, except for the fact that you said there are songs, which is a positive, you used the word jazzy. I don't know. It's just, I will make an effort to be objective and
Check it out. I mean, obviously it's not going to be for everyone, but I think this is a fucking masterpiece. I mean, if I'd have heard it last year, it would have made my like top 10, top 5 of the year.
Really?
But, yeah, absolutely. No doubt about it. Yeah.
I'm going to give it a shot. The only word that made me cringe, fly backwards was screamo. That was the only
Yeah, me too.
Forget that. Forget I said that. I said that one.
Okay. Yeah. I can deal all the other things I can probably work with.
Yeah.
But yeah, screamo that's a rough one. That's a tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a mistake. I forget I said that.
Well, thank God for that.
It's not screamo. It's not at all. No.
Okay.
It's fucking progressive rock for like chaos people. It's love it. So I'm so excited to get this, and it's kind of hard to find. I'm like, I guess I don't know. Came out last year, but it's out there, I guess. So. Gospel, The Loser. Check it out. Check it out, Cho.
All right, check it out.
Check it out.
This one came out.
How many has it been?
This is the round 4.
Yeah, we're going into 4.
Yeah. So we've all got, except me, we've all got 2 more to do.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
right, good. I feel better.
Okay.
So this is a band from St. Louis
Whoa.
called Iron Bars.
Iron Bars.
Yeah. And this is hardcore, but it's like off kilter, really like atonal guitars. It's noisy, it's aggressive, it's wicked and tough sounding, and I do really like it. So there's no band members listed, but there's a photo on the back. And this guy was definitely in Shaved Women. The band, like a noisy hardcore band. Yeah, and they're fucking great. So this is pretty awesome. It's just got this like like
so it's like a Tourette's vibe.
I said that already. No, but yeah. So, but
partly X-shaped women. Nate says. Nathan.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Right, there you
go. So I know that this is Ben. So Shaved Women played on FMU. I engineered them. They were actually on William Berger's show, the late William Berger, My Castle of Quiet. And this record is actually dedicated to him, in memory of him. So yeah, this is from 2017, and they're from St. Louis. And let me get this thing back in. But it doesn't ever list their names. But I figured that out. And see, look, there's a picture of a snowplow, and it says like City of St. Louis on it. But yeah, and it's not a shiny cover; it's the matte cover. I'm big on like artwork and covers and stuff like that.
Yeah,
but they're noisy, they're really assaultive, and they're good.
Nice.
And they have a song called "I'm Done," and then the last song on the record is called "There Is No Plan."
Sounds like the show. Oh, new band, Heavy Shelling.
Look at this. I'll have to look them up.
Yeah.
I really like everything that Ben Sellier touches. Heavy Shelling, I don't know them. It sounds like him, though.
Who put that record out?
Oh, you know what? It does say Iron Bars, Ben, Nick, and Gabe. Look at that. I didn't even notice. I'm looking at SPHC.
SPHC.
Yeah. I don't know.
We'll talk about them later.
Yeah, rough times a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and we shouldn't talk about them now because no, we'll talk about them later.
Okay.
Yeah.
What? Yeah. This is a fascinating turn of events. What am
something wrong.
Yeah.
There's nothing to say. Basically, the person that does that label was canceled out super hard. That's all.
Oh, one of those.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
And he's like kind of sued people who've like tried to defame him and stuff. And we'll get after the show.
Keeping it totally. We shouldn't not say anything. I would just say
right. Yeah.
So, there were issues. The label was effectively, basically canceled out over accusations. And yes, that person did sue people for defaming him basically in public. So
yeah,
rough times. None of us are doing that right now. We're just merely mentioning that this is a thing that happened. So yeah,
right.
I did it all for the record. I had no idea.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know about it. A lot of people don't know about it. Yeah. I took a dark turn.
Artie.
Where are my Billy Joel records? Hold on.
Oh no.
All right, my turn, I guess. Well, based on that last pick, okay, so this is not my pick for this week, but I did buy this last week. Kind of stumbled upon it and said I never got a copy of this. Let me check it out.
Oh.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, cool. I didn't know they even had another record, so I put it on, and it's not bad. There's some tracks on it. It's more high concepts, situationist, weird philosophy. I hate work. I hate everything.
Are you farting?
No, I'm ripping open. I put this back in this shitty cellophane thing. So
Glad you're
it drew me back to the first record.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Which is just like, I'm like, I haven't listened to that in a while, so let me put it on. I think I got this at the FMU fair, Diane. It still has like shrink
nice.
It's got the sandpaper. I don't think this has ever been reissued or bootlegged or anything, to my knowledge. So it's kind of cool to have caught one of these. But I could only ever remember, if you asked me 2 weeks ago about the Feederz, I'd be like, Jesus entering from the rear. That's all on the sandpaper cover, and that's all I can really remember. So this time I actually, after finding the other record, I put this one on and listened to it, a couple of times, and I was like, there's a lot of great songs on here. The song 1984 is that could be like a post-punk, anthem. That could have been Crisis or that proto post-punk stuff, and there's a lot of legitimately good songs on here. I think at some point the art took over the music, and in the beginning they actually had, this guy Frank Discussion he had good songwriting skills, and he had kind of a sense of writing something that would rock and would also contain that venom. But I think the second record has a couple of tracks, but it's overall the medium took over the message, or vice versa, or something like that. I have time here.
Exactly.
But yeah, the Feederz, Ever Feel Like Killing Your Boss. It's great. The cool thing about the second record, though, the Teachers in Space record, is that I guess they came with an assortment of stickers. So I'm sure, Tony, you've seen your share of these, but mine came with Vandalism is Beautiful as a Rock in a Cop's Face.
Oh yeah. Well, that's the other record. That's the
yeah, that came out, but that came out in the Trump era or something, or in the 2000s.
In the 2000s, but maybe early 2000s.
That one.
That's the third record. Yeah.
So, but it's funny that they had it included in these LPs back then, so that was their thing,
Yeah.
But yeah, tying into the cop theme from earlier, I guess.
Wow.
So yeah, the Feederz. I think anybody that isn't at least acquainted with this record is missing out. But yeah, Teachers in Space, not bad, but this is I feel like this is if I had to sell my entire record collection, I think this would make it into the top 20 that I would keep at this point anyway.
When they, as a bunch of people mentioned, it did get reissued. There were reissues of it done, but my favorite thing is that when they reissued it on compact disc, they put the sandpaper also on the compact disc.
Oh,
This is the CD.
Wait, I knew that. Right.
Yeah, the CD also has the sandpaper, which is great. My favorite, there's a lot of lore about that band and about Frank Discussion. I think there's a story of him and Gilman threatening or actually putting a rat in a blender and gonna kill it on stage. I can't remember, with a hammer. There's a lot of hearsay and rumor, but my favorite hearsay, and I mean somebody here might know for a fact if this is the case, but there's all those photos of Jello Biafra getting married and stuff like that, and Alternative Tentacles did that record. And I guess Frank, as the story goes, Frank Discussion needed a place to live. He was temporarily homeless, and Jello, oh yeah, of course you can live with me, man. You're my friend. I put out your records. Come live with me.
His wife.
He stole his wife.
What?
Yeah.
I thought that was what he
hate to laugh about it, but
no, I read that.
I think that's an actual thing, right? I know there's probably some hearsay going on with the Feederz, but I thought that was actually a real one where he was just oh man, you're my friend, come stay with me, and he's just yeah, sure, and just absconded with Jello's wife. So
yeah, yes, I definitely heard that.
That's an insane story.
Right. Wow, and then
see us in the years.
Oh, not that recent.
Right. Right.
Crazy. I wonder if that's like an actual like an extra stab from DH. Christ.
Not
Oh, that's fucking good. So, well, just to give you guys the warning, I am in the red here.
All right.
My computer is going to die at any moment, but I will do my best to just get, when it dies, I'll just try to jump back up on my phone.
Okay.
And then quickly, I'll try to go through my next release, which also...
Wait, I have a really long story first, a really long meandering story.
Yeah, the build up.
Artie. Love you so much. I miss you. Tell me some stories. Tell me some stories from. Let's just talk about the old reptilian days, buddy.
No. By all means.
Let's not actually. Let's not talk about any of them. We want to talk about. Never mind. None of them. We'll discuss nothing. We'll discuss nothing but records. So yeah, that last record, the Law and Order record, where I'm perplexed that no one has reissued it because it's like so cool, and it doesn't seem like it would be difficult since the band members put out the original. Really, it would only take somebody reaching out to them. This case, I also don't know why, especially since Paco and Sealed Records, recently did Chin Chin, which I love.
Yep.
They did a Chin Chin reissue, and they've been, I guess they somehow are connected with those Dolly Mixture reissues, which are just all incredible, all need to be reissued. But this band somehow has escaped any kind of a reissue. And that is the Rose Hips. Sympathy for the Rose Hips, or any of their releases. I mean, I think that they mostly had like singles kind of scattered. There is a compact disc that was put out a number of years ago that's like everything, I think, on one compact disc. But as far as I know, that compact disc was never put on vinyl and just kind of like, it was just a CD collection that nothing ever happened after that. So, which is a shame because in the world of, Dolly Mixture and Chin Chin, just pure twee, like ultra catchy lo-fi. But in the case of the Rose Hips, there's definitely like, there's a punk there. I mean, all those bands have punk influences, and you would argue that they're all DIY and punk, but the Rose Hips seem to have like a interest in hardcore. So they play not all the songs, but oftentimes the songs are played like double and triple time. Still pure twee kind of C86 music, but it's like they had that influence from other things that caused them to want to play faster. And on this record, on the back, there's an interview with them, and it's asking about their influences, and they say Ramones, but then they also say the Stupids, and then they say US hardcore. So when I heard this originally, when I heard it online or something, I was like, wow, they're playing pretty fast for this style of music. That's interesting. I wonder if any of them like come from like actual hardcore world. And then to see them actually say on the back of the record that the Stupids and US hardcore were an actual influence on them. I mean, it's weird. It doesn't sound like US hardcore or the Stupids at all. It sounds like proper, twee C86 pop, just really faster than it should be. But that makes it great. And I think there's political and there's like a single like Bloodstained Fur maybe, or like Long Painful Death for Vivisectionists. So there's obviously like some more serious punk, vibes coming from this band, not just that they're playing faster, with a hardcore influence. But anyway, it's just like with all those connections, it feels like someone like Sealed Records should probably, just anybody should try to reissue this. Because I think people would love it. I mean, it's not like they were an unpopular, I mean, they were known, I think that they were relatively known in their time. It's just that, they just stopped playing, and that CD happened, and then nothing, radio silence for a really long time. So it would just be nice to see like maybe some kind of reissue of them. So, but anyway, it's great. So if you like any of that kind of twee pop, and want to hear it played 3 times faster than any of the other bands, it's pretty fun. So
that's a great pick, man. Yeah, you're totally right. That's something that really, really kind of needs to get a proper, nice like reissue.
It would be nice. It could be the label, because I think all this stuff, it's a Revolver, Cartel, maybe like Subway Organization did one of things. I'm not sure. So there could be some problem with the labels that like maybe there was some kind of like, major label. I don't know. It could just be a rights issue. People might have tried to do this again, and it could be a rights issue. I'm not sure.
Right.
But if I could just put it out there in the world that someone should reissue this in the Law and Order, I'm just gonna put it out there because it would be nice to be able to in the world. So
we've lost Artie. Oh, there he is, just in time.
Better than ever.
Just in time to answer all the questions I'm going to throw at him. Yeah, everybody. Susie and the Banshees, any fans?
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. What about Japanese anime? Studio Ghibli or Ghibli, what do we want to call it?
Oh, yeah.
Spirited Away.
Yeah.
Princess Mononoke.
Yeah.
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that.
I'm aware of it. Yeah, I'm not a fan. My daughter loves it.
I'm okay with that stuff, and I like it. But the kind of like it's the kind of like pure anime fan is like that's a rough jacket to wear. You know what I mean?
This is just a build-up. This is just a build-up to my choice. Bear with me. You're going to be in for a shock. So, Susie and the Banshees, Japanese anime. There was this gothic band from the 80s, Japanese, called Schmidt. Nobody's ever heard of them. They were kind of popular.
Okay.
Kind of Susie and the Banshees-ish, but a little bit more commercial and poppy. They had a great singer.
Let me see the record again.
This isn't actually my choice, but I'm willing to.
Right. You showed it. You got to.
Artwork is awesome.
Lift it up so I can see the name of the band.
Schmidt.
Oh, Schmidt. Okay.
Schmidt. Sounds German.
That's like one of the worst
German
I've ever heard ever.
And then Sin, Secret, and Desire is the name of the record. So mid-80s Japanese, like post-punk goth with an amazing singer. This is the singer, Syoko. This is the first 12-inch single. Now to my pick. She put out a solo record. She sings, and all the music was done by Joe Hisaishi.
Ah, yeah, that's the guy that did all the soundtrack.
Who does all the soundtracks for all these like huge like movies that everyone knows around the world, right? And he, like, as far as soundtracks go, he's pretty good at it, right? I mean, he knows what he's doing. He's kind of the king of the soundtrack, you know? So to get this woman from this like post-punk band just to team up with him, I mean, he was already a big name at that time. So yeah, 86, but he's using the Fairlight synth, you know, like Peter Gabriel and Kate Bush. So the music sounds like Kate Bush, The Dreaming, all those early, like those Peter Gabriel records with this woman Shoko's like amazing like vocals on top of it. It's kind of a super interesting record. It's fucking amazing too. It's like really, really good. Came out.
That sounds awesome. I'm definitely gonna.
Please, someone check out one of my picks.
Yeah, that's the one. Definitely.
I mean, honestly, if you like, you know, Kate Bush, that era, The Dreaming, the music sounds exactly like it. He's using the Fairlight, you know. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Joe Hisaishi, you know, big name with this like, you know, post-punk gothic singer called Syoko.
That's crazy because his soundtracks, you know, they import those like to the US because.
And on that bombshell. Hey. What I was going to say was I went then as well. Jesus. Yeah.
Oh, when he comes back, I wonder what order.
When he comes back, he can tell us what he was.
No, let's pretend we don't hear him.
Yeah, we'll just ignore him. Yeah. Oh, no. Okay, that's a good question. It's about like old Japanese post-punk. Not really, Diego. This is like more... Well, actually, you know, like G. Schmidt, not really. It's kind of more commercial sounding. It's like a very commercial Susie and the Banshees record. And this solo record is like super like Kate Bush, avant-garde, like pop, you know, art pop. It's great. Every song's great. And he's a genius. I mean, the guy that made the music is a genius, you know. Yeah.
And you would recommend it for a Susie fan?
No.
Oh.
I would recommend the other band,
Okay.
G. Schmidt, because this is way different. Like G. Schmidt is like post-punky. Syoko is like art pop, you know?
Okay.
Yeah. Oh, here he is. He's back.
There it is.
It? Christ. Frozen in time.
How about that? Can you hear me?
We can hear you, but you're frozen.
And now all of our names are gone.
They are? How did that happen?
Wow, that's wild, yeah.
They're back now.
Here he is.
Oh.
Is my phone like ruining everything?
No, we can hear you, but we
can't see you.
You're frozen.
Oh.
Good
Thing, Mike, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, yeah. You're frozen.
But we can hear you.
We can hear you. All right, let's carry on. Diane, what's your next record?
My last pick is not going to surprise anybody.
He's disturbing me with his frozen face.
I know. It's like a giant pillow sitting there.
It's like a bit like a stray cat. Oh, hang on. Oh, yes.
So this is the flat, and this is the album.
Nice.
Yeah. Outer Limits. So when this came out, it was certainly the CD era. And,
right. Yes.
I think it's 90.
Yeah, it was super hard to get on vinyl. They didn't make that many, right?
And I didn't have it on vinyl. And it had the 3D cover, so I'm showing this one. This had the 3D cover, and it came with 3D glasses. And yes. I probably have 6 copies of the CD because every time I would see it somewhere for cheap, I would buy it. And a lot of times I gave them away to people because this is my favorite Voivod record.
Cool.
And I saw them. I went to the World War III Fest in whatever year that was. And I've been on Voivod's case since day one, pretty much. But it's a great rock record.
Yeah.
Like they really, they can sort of dance between so many styles of the heaviness. And the guitar is still amazing. And I listen to this record. I listen to at least a couple songs from this record every day. Like every single day. Who is that? There's some drunk lying in the sewer down here.
All right, stay there.
Yeah. Okay. Let me eat a cigarette.
Yeah. Can you help me carry these 10 boxes of records?
Yes, he was talking about himself, wasn't he? At that story, it wasn't about someone else.
Right. And true to Voivod's nature, the sleeve is wonderful because it's got all of the illustrations, and these were individual pages in the CD. And this one is the reissue from 20. I just saw the date. Where'd it go? 2021.
That's the one that I got too. That's
and it's pretty
nice. Mine's blue, I think.
So this is actually on Geffen. They had been on, I believe they'd been on MCA Mechanic at the time. But Tony's gone again.
Gone again.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
Wow. But that's just Voivod. I see them as often as I can. I've interviewed them several times over the years. I just absolutely love them. I have a Voivod tattoo. And that's it. That's my throwdown.
Beautiful.
Woo!
I was so glad when they finally reissued that on vinyl,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Because I have the Japanese CD with the glasses and everything, but it doesn't quite cut it, It's like,
well, it cut it for years with me. I just,
Yeah, it's great to have it on vinyl.
I haven't heard that one. I'm a late comer to Voivod. I probably got into them sometime in the last 10 years.
So what stuff of theirs do you like?
I own Roar, and War, and the first three I own.
War and Pain, Roar, and Killing Tech.
Right.
Yeah.
Killing
So
Tech
that.
is my favorite.
Yeah, so
And
War
I got
Pain.
the box set. So.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Atros, and
And so this is it's their most, I mean, I wouldn't say mainstream, but it's really just chock full of fucking like catchy riffs and real and clean singing too.
Yes,
so like War and Pain is really like it's I mean, I love that record. But I've really followed their full progression. Their last tour, it's 40 years since War and Pain came out, and they're playing at least one song off of every single album, including the Eric Forrest records, and it's Snake singing, which is pretty awesome. And I saw them, I think, 5 times on that tour.
Wow, on that tour. How many times have you seen them in your life? Have you seen Voivod?
I don't know, maybe 30, something like that.
Wow.
Probably.
I was supposed to see them at Christmas on Earth in the UK in Leeds with Creator and Megadeth, but they couldn't. They were denied at the border.
Oh, wow.
That was like 1985, 86 maybe.
Oh, wow.
I was so disappointed because they were one of the bands I really wanted to. Chromax played too. Jesus. So they were one of the bands.
How did Chromax get in and not Voivod?
Diane, have you heard like that Morgoth Tales record?
I don't have that yet.
Okay, I was just wondering, is it worth getting? Because it's just like re-recordings, right, of old songs. So
yeah, they do re-record. Although they've done videos for them too, so I like that because they're redoing it, and they've got a new guitar player and a new bass player. I mean, actually, not that new. You know, Chewy, the guitarist, is Piggy's replacement, who died, a long time ago. And I think like 2000, maybe 2003 or something like that. I think that's when Piggy passed. Right. And it was a while. And I remember going to see them. They were actually opening for Creator. I can't remember who the other band was, but so it was their first tour out with Piggy's replacement, and I remember just being like, I met him, and I was just like, oh, it's because of you that Voivod can play again. And there was some extra material left that Piggy had written and had left for them and all that stuff. And he was playing his amp, and now he's really coming to his own and is playing real Voivod stuff. I mean, their records are great.
He's amazing. You've got to give full respect to that guy. Unbelievable.
Absolutely. Yeah, because that's one of those things, right? It's like a Voivod fan knows.
Irreplaceable, right? We thought, right? Can't replace him, right?
Right, yeah, but a Voivod fan knows how it's supposed to sound.
Right.
And they're pretty tech, right? So there's a lot of nerds. A lot of these guys are like, oh no, that's a fifth and all that shit. So so you get those kind of people in the audience who are just looking at him, under a magnifying glass, like, oh, can he do it? And he can do it, and he's happy, and he kind of, in some ways, he sort of looks like Piggy in a way. He's got he moves like him a little bit and stuff, but he's really cheerful, and he took it on, and now he's been with them for a while, And
beautiful. I like all the records too that they've been putting out too, the new stuff.
Oh yeah. Yes. Yeah. So, all right. Voivod, yay!
But Voivod, one of the best bands to ever do it.
Yes.
Big fan. I know Mike's watching. Mike Lorenzo. That's his favorite band too, right? So Voivod.
Yeah, that's the thing. He would play. He was Mike has loved Voivod, and I think it informed the stuff that he wrote when we were in Celebrity Murders together. And I was, and he would talk about Voivod, and it would be like, nah. Much later that I, got it, kind of developed an interest.
Join the cult, Artie.
Yeah. We are connected.
Yes. So is Tony not going to try again?
No, he's just hanging out in the comments now. Like.
Oh.
All right. Okay, Artie, bring it on home. With
yeah. All right.
The pressure is on you.
Well, like I said, I've been listening to a lot, so I brought a bunch. Should I go for tried and true, or should I go off into left field?
Left field.
Okay. Been in Milwaukee a bunch recently, which is an American city you may not be familiar with. There, so I there's a record store there called Rushmore Records, and it's a great store. They're the only store that I've seen that has a dedicated section to Born Bad records out of France. So they have like a like 2 shelves dedicated just to Born Bad releases. So whenever I'm there, and I'm familiar with Born Bad because of Frustration mostly, and then some of the comps they did and stuff. So that sort of like deep French synthwave post punk.
Frustration's a great band.
Frustration is amazing. Yeah, I own everything by them. They're like, from the moment I heard them, they were like one of my top favorite bands. But nice. So I've Born Bad puts out so much stuff that it's impossible to keep up with the entire label. So when I'm at the store, I just kind of flip through and I ask the owner. The owner is familiar with most of it, so I get recommendations from him. So he recommended a couple things to me, which it was hit or miss. But this I kind of bought on the cover and name alone without his recommendation, and it ended up being my favorite purchase that I was there. It's called it's Zombie.
Zombie.
Yeah. The record's called Vave, however you say that. This I don't know if you're familiar with this band at all. Apparently they're pretty prolific. This is where I have been introduced to them, but they have 7 records out before this, apparently. Wow. It's a French synthwave duo, 2 dudes. And they it's like sounds like a sinister Kraftwerk, or like Kraftwerk doing John Carpenter. There's barely any lyrics, but the lyrics on this particular record, I don't know about the other records because, like I said, this is my first one, but they're sung in Latin, and they're all based on some philosopher. I don't know, some guy who spoke Latin like. The only non-Latin lyrics. There's a song which is my favorite song on. It's on side 2. It's track 2. It's called "War Is Coming," and that's the entire. It's "War Is Coming. Can you feel it?" over and over again, and it's just like really, especially when you're in an altered state of mind. It's a real trip. It's just, and they have their videos apparently have just a lot of repeating visuals, which I was really digging last night. It's just it's a really it sounds like a soundtrack to a terrifying movie that doesn't exist. And it's very minimal, very very dark wave. Checks all those boxes, with heavy synth.
This is interesting because I showed a band on this show before called Zombie, and they're an American band who are also a duo and also doing a similar kind of thing. I would say
Zombi.
Yes. They're
on Relapse.
That's it. They are on Relapse. Yeah, came full circle. Yeah.
So that's what. But when I brought this to the counter, the guy who's familiar with Born Bad he was like, oh yeah, it's kind of cool if you like Italian disco. And I was like, maybe I do. I don't know.
Maybe I do.
Words. I like some Italian people. I like some disco. So, but it doesn't sound like that at all. It sounds like a mean kind of evil Kraftwerk. Like the sort of computerized lyrics that Kraftwerk has, but stripped down, and then just like a pulsing vibe, side A to side B. It's great.
Nice. I'm glad you went left field with that last pick. That sounds great.
Very cool,
I'm intrigued. Yeah. Super intrigued. That's a great pick.
Cool.
Beautiful. What's the name of the band? Zombie with an IE?
It's Zombie with an IE twice.
Zombie with an IE. Zombie, right?
Yeah, Zombie. And there's only... I guess this is the only vinyl version. There's apparently it's been repressed. This might be a later pressing, but you can't tell it apart.
Vobis is the name of the record.
Yeah, and it's on Born Bad out of France. And if you're on the fence, check out some of their videos on YouTube, and it's great stuff.
I'm over the fence already with that description. Should we let him back in? Let's see if he's
Oh, don't
Let me. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
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 Every time. Listen,
two
this is so
candles.
ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. Every time I try to turn the camera around so it faces me and not the records, it crashes. It crashes the app on my phone.
Okay, so prop up the record on those two.
So no one
There we go.
needs. Here we go.
Also.
Yes. Ulcer, indignation. It is screeching, obnoxious vocal power violence that I love. And yeah, it's awesome. Just like just terrorizing, ripping power violence with a touch of grindiness and very high pitched vocals. So anyway, that's I spent so much effort trying to get back into this thing. I don't yeah, the internet does not want me showing Ulcer, apparently. God damn it, man. This I tried to get back in like 5 times and it just doesn't want to let me back.
Yeah, it's a little tricky on a phone. It's a little tricky. But,
yeah. Well, Ulcer was my last pick. I'm sorry I wasn't around for the Voivod conversation. I love them desperately. I only didn't see them as many times as you. I saw them once in '88, and then when they played Maryland Death Fest, when they got back together after Piggy passed, I caught them once then, and I thought both times were incredible. You know, different reasons, but they were, yeah, just incredible both times. And I love every era. And yeah, they just did a cover of the Ultraman TV theme just recently as a 12-inch, and that's really fun, super fun, you know. So, oh,
kids are home.
Hi,
hey,
hello.
Hey. What's up?
Okay, what music do you think is cool?
Rap.
Nice, man. What's your favorite rap record?
Wait, what?
What's your favorite rap record or rapper? Do you have one?
Yeah, who's your favorite rapper?
I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, he's still picking it up.
There's a lot of choice out there, right?
Yeah, it's option paralysis.
Yeah.
What kind of music do you like?
You know what music I like.
Dinosaur music?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Music about dinosaurs.
All right. What a great episode. Great episode today. Loved it. As always, Tony.
Sorry, you can only hear my disembodied voice.
Maybe that's a good thing. It's a good thing.
How's that? Is that any
Yep.
better?
That's very risky.
That kind of works.
Yeah.
We're finished now, though. All right. Let me just introduce next week's show. Next week's show is kind of a Sorry State Records, that whole kind of scene-based show with Mikey from Private Hell, Sam Roberts from Private Hell, and Eric Chubb from Public Acid, and the Invertebrates. 3 new people who have not been on before. It's going to be a good show. 10 p.m. next Friday, September 22nd. Diane, thanks for coming on. Great pick.
Thank you.
Diane, good to meet you.
Good to meet you too, Tony.
Until next time, live in the chaos on Avalon Attack.
Where'd you go?
Until next time. See everyone. See you next week. Until next time.
Thank you.
Wait a minute.
You want to do the outro, Tony?
No, you can do it. No,
all right. Okay. Until next time, stay healthy and stay
clean.
clean.